Hello, and welcome to part 2 of the Tarot Disassembled comparison. So, this is the Tarot Disassembled second edition given to me by my YouTube bestie, Elizabeth, over at Intuitive Me. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This is a great deck, very good starter deck. And I am comparing the two to the original RWS Tarot deck by Arthur Edward Waite and with the illustrations by Pamela Coleman Smith. And then here we have the Glimmerwalker Tarot. And the illustrations are done by, excuse me, I think her name's Allison. And I bought this off of the Vermilion website, and it was a Kickstarter and now being sold on the Vermilion collection. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the minors. So there is our Glimmer Walker. Here is our RWS. And then this is the Glimmer Tarot. I'm sorry, the Tarot Disassembled. And all right, so this is the original artwork after Pamela Coleman Smith reinterpreted the tarot. And this is a modern version of the tarot. And then this is the disassembled tarot. So this is going to have a lot of the meanings and the symbols from this deck. And then, of course, this is just the newer interpretation. So the Glimmerwalker Tarot renamed this deck. Instead of the cups, it is now Shadow. And this is still within the watery realms, the emotional depths of the soul, basically. And here it's the same thing. This is the cups. The emotions are the way we feel about things. Excuse me. All right. So here we have the Ace of Cups. We have a nice little martini glass. We have the hand here as opposed to the hand holding the cup. And as you can tell, this ace is totally different. There is not a cup, and we don't have a hand. So here we'll be focusing a lot of the symbolism from here. We do have, these aren't quite, we have a lotus here, but I don't think there's any lotus in this one, unless that's what these little ones here are. Those might be lotus, but we have lotus and water lilies, and then we have lots of little, one could call them yods, or we could call them raindrops, water drops. We have the little cross that the bird is presenting, and then we've got the bird here. We also have this pine cone, which I initially thought that that's what these brown things in the water is the pine cones. And we of course have the cloud, and this is going to be the waterfalls that are coming out along with the yachts right here. So we have a heart representing a new fresh emotion, the development of emotion. Right, so moving on to the twos. Of course, we've got the two. Took too many cards there. Of course, we've got the 2 cups represented here, 2 cups being held. And in this deck, it is just the jellyfish, but we do have 2 people being represented as well. This is probably the caduceus, which is here. Let's see, it's showing fire and water, and then we have a wreath with roses over here. We also have home, which we've got a house, which we've got a house back in the background, the hills also being represented. And then we have this window dressing here. And we've got yin and yang as well, as to represent the 2 energies coming together to form a third energy, right? 2 people's love, adoration for one another creates a third kind of energy. Okay. Here we have the 3 of Cups. We have all of the bounty that is here represented. We also have the three-phase moon. We have the full and the two crescent. We do have a celebration up here in our modern deck, our Glimmer Walker, but we don't have the figures here. So, nice straightforward. Okay, here is the Four of Cups, and this is the ennui. This is what not really focusing on your gifts, not really being present, I guess you could say. So this guy is kind of upset. Maybe he doesn't have 4 cups and he's mad, but he's inadvertently unaware of this 4th cup that's being offered to him. And we have that here as well. We've got the crossed arms. We do have the 3 and then the 4th in the cloud, and also the tree that this person is sitting under. Here, this person in the Glimmer Walker looks like, or the Glimmer Walker it seems like he's in a meditative state, in my opinion. And I feel like this 4th rather, jellyfish is coming down here to bestow something on him, and it doesn't really seem like he's ignoring it. He's just in another state of mind, which is similar. Here, I feel like there is more of a closed offedness, and in this interpretation of the 4 of Cups, 4 of Shadow, I feel that this person is just not in the same reality, I guess you could say, to be aware, the same awareness, to be able to be aware that this jellyfish is coming. So there we have our 4. Now, I do now have the PDF with all the information about these cards. And I actually have not gone through that just yet, but I will one day. Okay, 5 of Cups. So we do have 3 cups spilled over, as we do here, but interestingly, there's 2 with a red liquid and 1 with a green liquid. And probably that's what this little puddle is here, which is something I've not noticed. I did not notice that there was a second or even a 3rd puddle, because I don't think I really noticed that there was a puddle up here between this cup. So this deck, though it's a very good starter deck, is also helping me to recognize things about the tarot that I didn't recognize in the beginning. We also have this button here, which I don't know, is that like a rewind button? Play? Well, actually, rewind would have 2 arrows. We have the cape showing up, and then, of course, the bridge. This 5 of Shadows just shows a shipwreck, and these jellyfish are dead, and this Glimmer Walker is sad, but we do have these 2 jellyfish who have not perished. So, and also this figure is unaware of the 2 cups behind him. So very interesting. Now we have the 6 of Cups, and this is nostalgia, and the RWS shows children sharing a gift, and the gift of flowers, and here we have our cups, we have our flowers, we have this mitten here, and there's a mitten on this little girl's hand, and we also see the tower, which would be this, and then the homestead right here. Interestingly enough, we have this spear, which I'm wondering what that means. Oh, and I just noticed that this figure back here in the back is carrying a spear. Right there. Okay, and so of course our modern deck does not show any of this aside from the 2 sharing a gift, playing a game, perhaps playing ball, who knows. But our modern interpretation has none of what the 1909 RWS deck has. This card is the card of many different choices, an ability to make choices, probably even fantasy. And we see that here with all of these different items that are being presented with each one of these cups. And each one of these cups has a different item in it. We have the veil, which is this veiled figure here, and this person who is having a hard time deciding. And in our modern deck, our Glimmer Walker is happy, it looks, to have all of these jellyfish. And actually, he looks to be chasing after our jellyfish. All right, we're to the Eight of Cups, and this is the Walking Away card. And you can see that his pile, his stack, is incomplete. And he's either incomplete because he's not getting what he wants, or he's going to go off and find it. Either way, he's walking away from this here. And we have our moon looks to be eclipsing our sun right there. And we have that here. We have our cape, red boots, the rock in the water. We've got that tall cliff and the staff in his hand. And this Eight of Shadow in our modern deck just shows our Glimmer Walker walking away from the 9 jellyfish. Now, the Nine of Cups is satisfaction, attainment, getting all that you have wished, and you are content, more than content. You're smug. And that's what this guy always reminds me of. He is just smug and happy and just perfectly content with his 9 cups behind him. And we have our curtains and the 9 cups, the stool he's sitting on, the feather in his hair, and his crossed arms as well, which is reminiscent of the 4 of Cups, where he is crossed arms and sort of closed off in a way. So this guy gives an air of just contentment, happiness. I've reached that point where I just don't need any more. Please, no more gifts, is what he's saying. And here in our modern interpretation, we have this person surrounded by all of his jellyfish, all of his cups. And we can really tell if he's content or not. So the interpretation is left up to the reader. Now, the 10 of Cups. Here we have ultimate happiness, ultimate of just everything is great. Rainbows and unicorns. We've got the union represented by the diamond ring here. We have our 2 couples, our children playing, the home. They have all that they want and they're completely happy. Their arms are spread, thus able to receive more and no problem with receiving more. In our modern interpretation, we do have that happy family here, and they are embracing all of these jellyfish, perhaps sharing them with others. Now we're to the courts. So here is our Page of Cups, and we've got the fish in the cup. We also have this ascot or scarf that goes around his arm, over his shoulder and around his head up there. We also have this window dressing here as well. And I should look that up, except I don't know where exactly I have that PDF. So actually, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to find it. Well, I don't see where I can pause the video. Interesting. So I have this new computer and I put OBS on my new computer and I don't have a pause button. So I guess that idea is out the window. Okay. Okay, so where were we? We have a feather here, which I don't see a feather represented here with the Page of Cups, but we have the lotus, which are on his tunic. And we've got more lotus up here. Then we've got the water behind the Page of Cups indicating the suit. This page of shadow is looking to the fish through the jellyfish while he has all this school of fish behind him. Now we have the Knight of Cups, and there's our trusty steed. Then we've got, of course, the fish, the cup, the armor, the wings, which appear on the top of the knight's head. And he has, I want to say that these are roses or maybe even red lilies on his tunic, but I don't see that here. And in our modern interpretation, our Glimmerwalker is riding this jellyfish with an orb in his hand. Now to the Queen of Cups. All right, so this queen is sitting on the earth and with a foot in the water as well. And we do see the earth, we see the water. We have this little, perhaps crystal ball, and we have mermaid tail here indicating a human and fish combination. We also have the shell, which we don't have any shells here, but that leans more towards or gives more clues that this is water. Of course, our crown is on top of the cup. And another a conch shell back here with some wings back here, which I think is reminiscent of these cherubs, indicating that they are angelic. And for Queen of Shadow, the queen looks like she is maybe giving instruction to this jellyfish, and she's sort of conjuring something here, kind of making some magic, some emotional magic, and controlling this emotional magic. And we are to the King, final card in our suit of cups. So we have the King's wand, or what would that be called? His staff, maybe? Here is his crown. We've got this dolphin here. Interesting. I thought there was a dolphin in here as well, because when I saw that, I was like, yeah, there's a dolphin, but I don't think I don't think this. There is a King of Cups that has a dolphin in it, and I'm trying to remember which deck that is. We have the sailboat, which is back here. This snake, I do not see on here either. But there is some sort of figure back here, which could be a dolphin. But that doesn't look very dolphin-y to me. That's funny. I don't know why, but that kind of looks more like an eel, which is a creature of the sea. So this king is not on land, though his throne is within the water. So he is the highest octave of this suit of cups. Our King of Shadow is sitting on top of the jellyfish, and it looks like he has more control than the queen does. All right, so that is the suit of cups. Now we will bring the pentacles in. And in this deck, it is ordered cups, pentacles, swords, and then the clubs. So I have ordered all of my decks in the same way. And so, oh, I put the shadows on top of the, actually. Okay. Oh, I don't have a lot of room on this desk, so it's all kind of a jumbled mess. Okay, I found it. Now, in our modern deck, we have the suit of coins, the suit of pentacles, renamed as the suit of fruit. Okay, so these are not pentacles, these are fruit. And I actually have a deck in which pentacles was misspelled. It's pentacles. They put a K in it. And believe it or not, I bought that deck because of the misprint. So, and I use that deck once in a while. It's an RWS clone. It's same artwork except the backs are different. It's beautiful chocolate color. And what I think it has like a pentacle on it. It's a beautiful deck. I love it. And I love the pentacles. All right, so here we have the cloud, we have the hand, of course, the pentacle, and here's our cloud and hand. We do have this wonderful greenery growing over this archway, which is depicted right here. The mountain, which can be seen through this archway as well. We have a lily and rose being represented here. And basically, this is a gift. This is the starting of something physical, something that we're bringing into this world. It can be a raw material that someone has given to us, or something that we find that we use to help us bring something to fruition, something physical. This ace of fruit is just a singular pentacle. I mean, that it is what it is, right? We do have a mountain back here. We do have some greenery showing, but the spotlight is put onto this fruit that is glowing. All right, Two of Pentacles. Of course, we have the juggling hands. We have this wavy sea in the background as well with the two ships. And this basically means there are two choices, and there is an obvious emotional attachment to these two choices, and this person is juggling between the two. Again, we have that window dressing, but yet there's something in between in there, which happens to be this hat. So very interesting, and I like that they put his shoe here as well. So then, of course, the Two of Fruit is the Glimmer Walker juggling or dancing in between two of the fruits. So once again, the Glimmer Walker doesn't have a clear choice that he wants to make. Three of Pentacles. This is a collaboration card, and we have our three pentacles. We have our person with this veil-looking hood thing, the apron, the person who's working, and we also have the rose, part of the rose and lily. The rose and lily. What would that be called? The rose and the lily, I just drew a blank, so I'm just going to pass that right now. We also have a cross up here, the archway. It's often thought that these people are working in a church, and it shows the blueprints, which the blueprints are in these hands here, and the table that this figure is standing on. Here in our modern deck, we have three Glimmerwalkers working together to work this piece of fruit here, work this branch. So they must be harvesting. Now we have the Four of Pentacles, which is holding on to your resources, holding on to your items. And each one of these is being held by its prospective item or its prospective bondsman. As in the RWS deck, we have his cape and the stool that he's sitting on and the crown with the pentacle in it, showing that the pentacles are on his mind. Here we have our Glimmerwalker sitting on top of three, and the fourth one is behind. So again, the more modern is more open to interpretation. This is the Five of Pentacles, which is strife, and these two are obviously in strife. They are out in the cold, they are not well, injured, and this is the the showing of the pentacles in a stained glass window. We've got our stained glass window, snowflakes, and a band-aid. Not quite sure what this tree would represent, but and then we've got a bell, which I'm assuming represents the church. We also have a foot showing these two walking. And here, this five of fruit, the more modern interpretation, these two are obviously a little sad, and the fruit just looks to be hanging in a way that the fruit is sad as well, or perhaps the fruit is not viable, which is why it's hanging, and perhaps why the glimmer walkers are sad. Now to the Six of Pentacles, and this is the philanthropy card. This is evening things out, making things equal. And we have the balance here. We have the hands handing out and receiving. We've got the castle in the background over here. And interestingly, we have this boot. And we've got a tree, which I can understand here because we've got some trees in the background. Our six of fruit here, and this is the glimmer walker caring for the six of fruit. So open for interpretation in this one. It's not so much the philanthropy, it's maybe caring, showing giving, and taking time out of your resources, your energies to take care of something else. So in a way that can be looked at as philanthropy, sharing water, pouring the water. And now we're to the Seven of Pentacles, and this is a card in RWS where it means harvesting and being aware of what you have created, what you've made, and sort of looking at your hard work, right? And I know in Thoth it means failure. So very different meaning of these two cards, but within the same school. So here, the Seven of Fruit, this Glimmer Walker has I don't know, which I kind of thought this Glimmer Walker was pregnant, but then it looks like this might be a backpack. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Let's pull this a little bit closer. See, that could be a backpack or pregnancy. Who knows? But here the fruit is in full bloom. It is standing up, and he may have already harvested this one. And we have our tools for harvesting. We have grapes ready to go. And so, yes, that is our Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Now, this is work. This is repetitious work. This is mastering your craft. And our Glimmer Walker is over here working. We have this guy working. We see tools here. We see the repetition. And we see the factory which is back here. Well, that could probably be a town. We have the apron. So all pretty much the same ideals in all three decks. Nine of Pentacles. Now this person has reached the materiality of wealth, which is shown by the falcon. We have Venus here, which is happiness and its abundance, and the grapes, which signify abundance as well. The falcon meaning wealth. Somewhere along the lines, having a falcon just meant being wealthy for some reason. I remember reading that, but I don't remember the rationalization for that statement. This Glimmer Walker is enjoying its time within its garden. You can see that the Glimmer Walker has harvested some of the fruit, but yet there is still fruit available for others. We've got the dragonfly who's happy, a snail who's happy as well. And so in all of these, we can see that there is some happiness and satisfaction. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, this is a card of legacy, passing down the family goods, I guess you could say, the legacy. And that's the best word I can think of. We have our dogs. We have this old man here who's probably the one who's passing down the wealth, the accumulation, the hard work to these younger people here. We've got the grapes, which signify happiness, abundance, wealth. We have the scales. We have a shield here, which it could be the family crest. Um, there should be a family crest. This might be it. Oh, look, there's scales here. Oh, wonderful. I've never noticed that. I knew there was a crest somewhere, but this is what I was thinking of. I never noticed the crest in here. And one thing I do want to point out is this checkerboard, which is not quite checkered. Um, it's checkered like, but it's like checkered rectangles. Anyhow, that represents duality because there is a dark and a light all together touching one another. And so that is a representation of duality. Here, the ten of fruit is there's a sharing, there's this abundance that's all around, and there is the family here. And here's our two figures over here. And then this looks like a matron or a patron in the background, just watching as the others are receiving and relishing in the hard work. Now we have our page, and we have another ascot here, which goes around the head and on the shoulder. And our pentacles, we've got this wonderful greenery here, which is shown through all of that. Here in this page of fruit, we have our page who kind of maybe looks like he has a looking glass, one of those magnifying glass, and perhaps he's studying this fruit as this page is studying his pentacle. So the pages are often are regarded as a younger energy, an apprentice type energy, someone who's learning. Here we have the Knight of Fruit, and this is the Knight of Fruit, Knight of Pentacles. I was reading this, but looking over here. We have our trusty steeds, both in black. This steed looks very strong and determined, as does this one. We have the cape, which can't quite be seen. I mean, yes, we can see his cape. It's kind of hanging down a bit. And we do have fire, which is interesting because the knight of Pentacles is more earthy, but perhaps because this landscape is red, that is what that is representing. This Knight of Fruit seems to be riding this fruit. However, the fruit doesn't seem to be too happy about this, as it's kind of drooping in a way. So that is open to interpretation as well. Now we're to our Queen of Pentacles, and she is just sitting admiring her pentacle, appreciating what she has. She's got abundance around her, and we have the abundance all here, the crown, of course, the pentacle up top. We do have representation of Aries up here, and that could be because there is sort of like a dragon head or something on this arm here. And this figure here could be a bunny. I think it is a bunny. And our Queen of Fruit is just sitting lavishly in her fruit. We have our bunny right there. And we are to our King of Pentacles. All right. I'm kind of feeling like this copy of this Roses and Lily deck just might be a little copied too much. Have you ever copied something, like made a copy of a copy of a copy, and then soon all the detail is lost? And that's kind of what I feel is happening here. So here is our King of Pentacles. So is represented by the bull. We've got bull up here on his thrones. Of course, we've got our crown, the kingdom back behind, the scepter, and This king is sitting on top of a multitude of fruit. Before, we've only seen one bulb per fruit, and here it looks like this is a cluster of grapes. And we have our bull up in the sky with those piercing, ever-watching, omnipotent eyes. So that is our King of Pentacles. Now we're moving on to the suit of swords. And then we've got one more to go, guys. Okay. I almost decided to cut this one in half and just do half now, half later, but I need to get these out and done. All right, so in our modern interpretation, the swords have been renamed as thunder. And, of course, in RWS, why can't I find my stacks? It is the swords. Okay. So we see similarity in color in this one. However, the color has been changed in our modern interpretation. So, of course, we have our singular sword, we have the hand, the cloud, the laurel, and the crown. And here we just have a laurel, and the lightning is what represents the sword, the air, the suit of air. Here we have the two of swords. We have the bench the person is sitting on, the crossed swords, the crescent moon, the blindfold, which is more like a little sleepy thing as opposed to an actual blindfold. We have the water behind. And if you remember in our two of pentacles, there was also water behind, but that water was turbulent. Here, the water seems calm and serene, as if she has more of a handle of these two, this situation, this A or B type situation. And here our two of thunders receiving the two thunders and not quite knowing what he's doing, but taking it looks like the Glimmer Walker is taking this energy in. So the three of swords, we have our three swords, we have our heart, only with 2 stab wounds though, as opposed to 3. The raindrops and the clouds, this 3 is showing 3 concentrated energies, and it's looking like it's destroying this rock right here. Uh-oh, I dropped my 4. All right, so this is the card of rest. We see our knight, or I would say he's a knight. He is resting all of his swords, and we see the same position of all 4 swords. We have a pillow here. We see that his hands are clasped in prayer or meditation. This 4 of thunder is taking refuge behind a rock. While there might be a storm going on, he is not hearing it. He's not, he's allowing himself to be separated from it for whatever reason. Here we have conflict in the 5 of swords. I don't see too much conflict in this card. However, with the color red, that is an indication of conflict. And we see that these people here, this guy's in red with the smirk on his face. This guy's walking away. This guy's not in red, but he is obviously upset. And this interpretation, we've got our 2 figures here, and this guy has all of the glory. He's taking all of the swords, all of the thunder, and he seems to be quite happy with what he's done, and he's glowing. Interesting. These cards don't really stick together. They kind of have a nice little texture to them, a barely perceptible texture. All right, Six of Swords. So this card represents moving away, going away, leaving a situation, perhaps a thought process, because we're in the suit of air, the suit of the mind. And I do want to point out that we have rough waters here represented, and then we have calmer waters here represented here. We've got our Six Swords, the Band-Aid meaning something needs to be healed. There is a reasoning for this moving on. And of course, we have our boat. Here we have this, in our modern interpretation, we see that there's a lot going on over here, but this Glimmer Walker has sort of a plan. And it kind of looks like they ran from here. I see this oar in her hand, which is same thing, oar over here, but perhaps she's using this as a way to fight this energy, which is being directed over here. So again, very open to interpretation with the modern card. Seven of Swords, this is the card of deceit. This guy is running away with all of these swords, and he is very smug about it. And we have a porcupine here, which I don't see how that would be there because I don't see a porcupine here. So that's interesting. We also have fire, a little campfire here, and then this tent, which we do have some tents back here. And we have a blindfold as well. So that could be part of the hidden aspect of this card. This Seven of Thunder is taking, as he is taking here with these two being represented here and here. So these three cards actually have a lot in common. And so interestingly enough, though, I don't know if I would actually read this card as being sneaky, as being conniving, again, open for interpretation. And this one too, we don't really know what the situation is about him running away, leaving those two. But as with reading tarot, it is very much the reader's intuition and how the other cards are working to tell the story as a whole. It's really difficult to get a one card reading. And here is the Eight of Swords, and I call this the making your own prison card. And we have a figure here who's loosely bound, and it's looking like she can easily find her way out of this mess. Though it's not going to be completely easy because there's water, there's earth, and this is why I say you're kind of making your own prison, and you're not really fully aware of your internal capabilities, your internal abilities. Same here with this. This Glimmer Walker surrounded by all of these, but yet there is a way out, and we can't really tell if this Glimmer Walker is blindfolded and cannot see. We do have a blindfold here. We've got some clouds here as well, which there are not any clouds in here. So I would be interesting to know why we've got a cloud on our tarot disassembled. I assume that I'm going to be doing a deep dive on our tarot disassembled. All right, so now we have the Nine of Swords in that, oh, wow, I like how we have all of the zodiac symbols here, all but one, where we are missing Ophiuchus, and but that's sometimes asking a little too much. We do have the quilt here. We have our rose, which is represented here. Oh, that is why that is here. And I've never noticed that either, because if you will look on the quilt, the glyphs are all on these green squares: Gemini, Pisces, Aries. We even have Mercury right here. Um, very, very cool. That was a nice little touch that I have never picked up on. There's also I've picked up on this, but I've never been really able to make out what this is. This kind of looks like a tree right here. This person looks like he's fencing. This person looks like he's lounging back in a maybe a car seat. I don't know. And in this Nine of Thunder, we've got flowers underneath this Glimmer Walker who is upset with the face and the hands. And we've got all of this energy being directed towards this way, but there is some hope down here, which I really, really like to see. So I like this card. I like it a lot. And here we are to the Ten of Swords. And this just means a finality, a definite ending. There's no going back now. And we see that here. The foundation has been broken. This person obviously has been stabbed 10 times. And yeah. Page of Swords. So we have all of the necessary things here. We've got a bird, a flock of birds there. We've got the clouds. We've got the rolling hills. Here, this page is sort of receiving this thunder. So, very, very easy to interpret. The Night of Thunder. I love that this modern interpretation gives the night butterfly wings. I really like it. And this knight is headed toward battle, going towards the situation full force. This horse looks a little uneasy. It looks like he's looking back a little bit like, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? And we've got our trusty steed here. We've got the feather that's also in his helmet, the tree which is swaying. Now we do have a bird here, which is interesting that I've never really noticed in this card, but perhaps that's just meaning, oh, we do have some birds up here, so that's probably where that bird is coming from. And I'm guessing that these fires mean some sort of passion. And one thing that is very interesting is that we do have a butterfly here, and it's quite possible that there are butterflies on the horse's whatever you want to call this. That could be a butterfly, maybe. But I do like this modern interpretation of the Night of Thunder because he is riding this thunderbolt and it's given him wings, and he is taking that great leap in using that mental energy and going with that mental energy, and that mental energy has given him the wings that he needs to tackle the issue. The Queen of Swords. We have all of the pieces here. I assume we have these wings here because we've got a cherub on her throne. We do have butterflies again, which could be interpreted or related to the suit of air. We have butterflies over here in our modern interpretation, and this queen is working with the energy. She's embodying this energy. She is actually taking this energy, and it looks like she's transmuting it and sending it downward. So, wonderful interpretation by our modern deck, and very, very good art from here because this queen is embodying all that it means to be the Queen of Swords. She has her sword standing upright. She's up within the clouds. She's listening. She's upright. She's astute. Oh, she's got butterflies on her crown. That's what it is. Oh, and there's even a butterfly on her throne right here. Okay, interesting. I've never associated the butterfly or never even noticed. Um, this is going to be a great deck to study. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can create a deck study, and that will help us understand the RWS a little more. All right, now we are to the King of Swords. He is looking straight at us. He's got a butterfly up here. He's holding his sword upright. He is firmly on the ground, but yet there's clouds behind him, and most of his card is filled with sky here. We do have the bird. We have some wings back here, and this king is sitting atop his clouds. He is embodying all of his element. He is his element. He's full of the element, and he's got butterflies. He's got his crown, and it doesn't look like he's sitting. It looks like he's doing maybe, or I don't know. It just doesn't look like he's sitting as this king is sitting. All right. That is our suit of swords. And now we will go to the wand suit, final suit. So there is our tarot disassembled. Here is our RWS. And here is our Glimmer Walker tarot. All right, so in Glimmer Walker, they changed the wand suit to be the suit of light. And of course, we've got wands here in our more traditional, and then in our disassembled, it's also Ace of Wands. Once again, we've got the hand, the cloud, and then the wand representing the suit. It is the suit of fire, which makes sense, and why we would have little fires right there. This is more of an abstract suit of light. It's not an actual thing. It is, I guess it's just a bunch. Photons are things. so, um, so we've just got an assembly of photons creating this light here. Doing these two like that. Trying to keep everything organized here off camera. So here we've got the Two of Wands, which is the planning phase, the things, the resources, the getting ready to get ready to be ready to start here. So this is getting your passions together. This is getting everything organized and ready to pull the trigger. We have our cape here, and then we've got our lily and roses, which are shown right here on his balcony. And we see the water out here, which is our emotion. And we've got water here. And then this is the castle he's coming from. And we've got the globe in his hand. Here in our modern interpretation, our two of lights, our stream of photons are right here. And the glimmer walkers walking towards one. The 3 is more of the plan getting put into motion now. Now we're to the creative aspect of it, where we have already assembled everything, and now we're putting everything into action, and things are getting moving. Now, once again, we've got the cape. This is that road of duality here. And we've got our ships, which are in the harbor and sailing away, meaning that there is movement there. It is moving now. In our Glimmerwalker Tarot, here's our 3 streams of photons, and this Glimmerwalker is in between both of them. He's working with the middle one, and so this is really open to interpretation. Now, faintly in the background, you can see that there are some ships. I don't know if my camera is going to be able to pick this up, but we've got a ship there, ship right there, and then a little ship right there. So, all right, 4 of Wands. Now, this is the Merriment card. This is the card of happiness And here we've got our people jumping for joy. And there's our 4 wands. And then here we have our 2 people sitting together, our 2 glimmer walkers sitting together in fire in the campsite. And then our stream of photons. Oh my goodness, this video is almost an hour. I should have broken it up. Okay, we're moving. We're in the suit of wands, so we're going to move faster. Of course, this is the card of conflict, of fighting amongst one another, of disagreement. Okay, this is just too many cooks in the kitchen. And we can tell here that this guy is a little upset. He's got a scowl on his face and he looks like he's about to explode with these photons. 6 of Wands is the homecoming, that giving people the recognition that they deserve. We have all of our pieces here. 6 of Light, modern interpretation, of course, is open to interpretation. He's standing on 4 of these beams with, he's standing on 5 with 1 beaming down on him. 7 of Wands, this is you or someone being in a defensive position. And we've got this glimmer walker sort of being on top of all of these photons. Same here. We've got all these sticks being thrust at this person, and he is fighting them off. And all of this is being represented in our tarot disassembled. 8 of Wands. Now, this is simple. This is just the movement card. Things are moving and shaken. We have these arrows showing the movement. And here we've just got a whole bunch of, we've got 8 beams of photons. The 9 of Wands. Now this is a card of being tired, you know, but still got some juice left. We're tired. That's what this Band-Aid is representing, but we're still willing to fight for the cause. This Glimmer Walker looks like he may be losing a little bit of heart with his head slightly tilted, but he seems to be still in the game. Now we've got this 10 of Wands here. This guy obviously has a large load to be carrying. We don't really see too much of that here, of it being too much as we see it here, but because there aren't any people to show that, we do see there is a big community, lots of Wands action here. And in this card, in our modern interpretation, we see our Glimmer Walker is sort of hiding, right? Sort of, he's under all this photon pressure, or he's hiding, taking refuge from these photons. I don't know where I've got that photon idea, but I'm just running with it. Page of Wands. We have our chameleons, or what are those, geckos? Salamanders. Yep. Yes, salamanders. We've got our pyramids back here. This is the suit of fire. We have his little hat, which is a bit different from this hat, but that's okay. And this page of light is really looking towards the light, looking at perhaps working with it, maybe harnessing its energy, which is a big difference from hiding from it, from the 10 of light. Here we've got our Knight of Wands, and this is a very action-oriented orange card, moving forward. Lots of orange and yellows here. Our steed looks like he's on fire. This steed looks very secure and very trusting of his rider who was telling him what to do. The horse may even be directing him, because look at his face. He actually looks like he might be a little unsure, but the horse knows what he's doing, and they are going for it. They are going for it. As with this guy here, he's going for it. And if you'll notice that this figure here is like an iguana or something, you know, some sort of lizard. And they are both running up to face this beam of light here. So very action-oriented, all of these cards. Now here's our Queen of Wands. I love this black kitty, and I love kitties. So we've got our black kitty here. We've got our Lion, the ferocity, which is shown here, which also this Queen of Wands exhibits a certain confidence about her, just a real the type of person that you can rely on that will get things done and shoot straight from the hip. And that is what this energy that is portraying here. We do have the cat showing here in our Queen of Light, and the photon beams are just raining down on her, and she's actually glowing from it. And here we are with the King of Wands. Oh, we have this extra card, non-action. And our final card. So here we have the King of Wands. We've got the salamander. We've got the lion, just as with the queen. We do have his green boot. And of course, we have the wand and his crown with little fires on top of it. This king as well is receiving the beam of light, and it is part of his staff. And he has his crown, and we have our little salamander down here. So all three of these cards do exude the pentacle of the energy of this suit, taking on that fire, really being able to harness it and hold on to that strong energy and not being able to lose control, which is shown here by the lion, the king of the jungle. And the fact that fire can really easily be an out of control element, but because this is the pentacle of the suit, this energy can contain the ferocity of the lion, the ferocity of the fire. Ooh wee. So seems like my voice is starting to disappear from me. Reason being, I have not been feeling well this week and all week, although I did go to work, but I don't know, it must have been some kind, I think I actually might have had COVID. I have this ongoing headache, which is it just doesn't seem to go away. So, but anyhow, I'm starting to feel better, and the reason why I'm home is because my family went to my niece's birthday party, which I decided to stay home. And not only that, my daughter needed a ride to work. So, which that is why I have been posting videos today, is because I actually have time and quietness. All right, so that was our Glimmer Walker. I'm sorry, I keep saying Glimmer Walker as if that's the star of the show, but our Tarot Disassembled is the star of the show. So let's just move these guys out. And thank you so much for watching. This is the comparison of the Tarot Disassembled, and we will do a nice quick shuffle. Oh wow, what a good shuffle. And look at that. Oh, they didn't all quite go in. But look, what a nice shuffle. So I wish you guys could hear the noise that it makes, because that's one of my favorite things about shuffling, is the cool noise that it makes. The cards are a little stiff, but I assume that they'll open up, they'll start flexing once I start working with this deck. But a wonderful deck, and I'm excited to dive into this PDF guidebook. So thank you, Elizabeth, for this wonderful and lovely gift. Thank you so much for thinking of me, and thank you guys for being patient. I know this is a long video, and I know there was a long span of time from when I posted the majors. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next video. Take care.